What if I told you that attracting wealth and abundance doesn't just depend on hard work, smart investments, or even luck? What if I told you the key to unlocking true prosperity lies in something deeper, something spiritual? There's an ancient wisdom, often overlooked, that can transform your financial life in ways you've never imagined. The secret isn't in striving harder or accumulating more. It's in understanding and applying timeless principles, Buddhist principles that have been practiced for centuries to cultivate peace, balance, and yes, abundance. Are you skeptical? Well, you're not alone. Many people hear the word Buddhism and think it's all about meditation and monks in robes. But what if these principles could be the game changer you've been searching for? These principles are about far more than spirituality. They're about transforming your mindset, your habits, and your energy to attract the prosperity you truly deserve. In today's video, we'll break down 10 powerful Buddhist principles that can change the way you think about wealth and abundance. Get ready for a mindset shift that will have you seeing opportunities in places you've never looked before, and more importantly, open the doors to true wealth. Stick around, because what's coming could be exactly what you need to transform your life. Have you ever noticed how an insult only stings if you let it? It's almost like handing someone the keys to your peace of mind and saying, "Here, take it for a spin." But the truth is, insults hold no real power unless you grant it to them. Think about it. How many times has someone's comment ruined your day, only for you to realize later they'd already moved on? You're left carrying a burden that was never yours to bear. Letting go is the first step to reclaiming that peace. Imagine this. You're in traffic and someone cuts you off, throwing a colorful insult your way. Sure, it's tempting to fire back, but does it really change anything? Instead, try flipping the narrative. Say to yourself, "This person might be having a rough day." Just like that, you've taken control of the situation and diffused the tension for yourself. The moment you detach from the need to respond, you unlock a sense of freedom most people never realize they're missing. Here's a little mental exercise. The next time someone says something hurtful, imagine their words as a paper airplane trying to land. The wind? That's your resilience, blowing it far off course. You get to decide whether their words land or crash. Practice this, and soon you'll find that insults bounce off like raindrops on a windshield. The beauty of this approach lies in its simplicity. You don't need to engage to prove your worth. Holding on to resentment after an insult is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. It's your emotional energy at stake. How about channeling that energy elsewhere? Think of someone you admire for their grace under pressure, maybe a calm leader or a friend who never seems rattled. Adopt their mindset. The next time you're tempted to stew over someone's words, ask yourself, would this person let it get to them? Chances are they wouldn't. There's a saying, hurt people hurt people. Often, an insult reflects more about the giver than the receiver. When you see it this way, you stop taking things so personally. Think of that co-worker who always has a sarcastic remark. It's likely their frustration talking, not yours. Respond with kindness or even humor, and you'll notice how quickly the sting fades. Turning the other cheek isn't weakness. It's a strength that leaves people wondering how you stay so grounded. Resisting anger doesn't mean suppressing it. It means transforming it. Try this. When you feel that burn of insult rising, take a deep breath and write down exactly how you feel. Once it's on paper, you'll see the situation from a distance and clarity will follow. You might even laugh at how small the offense seems in hindsight. In this way, what starts as pain becomes a path to self-awareness. Now, here's a thought. What if every insult was actually an invitation? An invitation to grow, to reflect, to strengthen your boundaries. Life is always presenting us with opportunities to become better versions of ourselves, even when the packaging seems rough. The power isn't in the insult, but in your ability to rise above it. And here's the real secret. Once you master this, it's like discovering a hidden superpower. Life is full of lessons, and believe it or not, every person you encounter has something to teach you. Yes, even that difficult co-worker or the stranger who cut in line at the coffee shop. They might not hand you wisdom wrapped in a pretty bow, but their behavior is a mirror reflecting what you need to learn. Once you see the world this way, challenges become opportunities, and frustrations turn into stepping stones for personal growth. Let's take a practical example. Imagine a neighbor who's always critical. It's easy to dismiss them as negative, but what if their constant nitpicking is teaching you patience or even the art of setting boundaries? This shift in perspective can be transformative. Instead of reacting emotionally, you begin to approach every interaction with curiosity. Ask yourself, what lesson is hidden here? You might just discover that your most unlikely teachers are the ones who help you grow the most. The beauty of this mindset lies in its universality. Whether you're dealing with a friend's kindness or a stranger's rudeness, every experience is a chance to learn. Did a colleague praise your efforts at work? Perhaps they're teaching you the value of recognition and how it motivates others. On the flip side, did someone unfairly criticize you? That could be your cue to develop resilience or improve your communication skills. The world is your classroom, and everyone has a role in it. Think about historical figures who've embraced this philosophy. Marcus Aurelius, for example, turned adversity into wisdom by treating every obstacle as a lesson. You can do the same by reflecting on your interactions at the end of each day. Grab a journal and write down one thing you learned from someone that day, whether good or bad. Over time, this habit will sharpen your perspective and help you grow in ways you never expected. Adopting this mindset doesn't mean you have to tolerate toxic behavior. Instead, it's about reframing the experience. For instance, if someone betrays your trust, the lesson might be about valuing honesty or recognizing red flags earlier. It's not about excusing poor behavior, it's about finding wisdom in the wake of it. Every interaction adds a layer to your understanding of yourself and the world around you. The magic happens when you start applying these lessons. Let's say you learn patience from a particularly challenging relationship. How does that newfound patience benefit your family, your friends, or even your work? The ripple effect is profound. By seeing others as teachers, you not only grow as an individual, but also inspire those around you to adopt the same outlook. Here's the kicker. When you transform everyone into a teacher, you'll start noticing patterns in your life. Those recurring frustrations or joys, they're part of a bigger story, teaching you what you're ready to learn next. And once you start connecting the dots, it's like unlocking a secret roadmap to abundance, prosperity, and personal evolution. The best part, this journey doesn't end. It keeps expanding as you grow. Envy can be a tricky emotion. It sneaks in, whispering, "Why them and not me?" But what if envy wasn't your enemy? What if it was your greatest motivator? That pang of jealousy you feel when someone achieves what you desire isn't a sign of inadequacy. It's a map pointing you toward what you truly want. The secret is to turn that envy into emulation. Instead of focusing on what they have, ask yourself, how did they get there, and what can I learn from them? Take a moment to think of someone you envy. Maybe it's a friend with a thriving business, or a colleague who seems effortlessly confident. Instead of resenting their success, study their habits. Do they wake up earlier? Network more? Practice a specific skill? When you shift your mindset from jealousy to curiosity, their success becomes a blueprint for your growth. Remember, admiration wrapped in envy is simply unrecognized inspiration. Let's get practical. Suppose you admire someone's financial success. Instead of feeling bitter, start emulating their actions. Read the books they recommend, like The Richest Man in Babylon or Think and Grow Rich. Attend similar seminars or adopt their financial strategies. By replicating their behaviors, you're not just chasing wealth, you're building the foundation for your own version of prosperity. The power of this approach lies in its ability to transform energy. Jealousy, left unchecked, is draining. But when you channel that energy into action, it becomes a powerful force for change. Think of envy as fuel. The moment you decide to use it constructively, you'll notice a shift, not just in how you see others, but in how you see yourself. Every small step you take toward emulation brings you closer to your goals. There's no shame in wanting what someone else has. It's human nature. The key is to let their success light a fire in you instead of snuffing out your confidence. Picture this. You see someone living a life of abundance, surrounded by wealth and positivity. Rather than dwelling on the gap between their life and yours, use their story as a reminder that it's possible for you too. Their journey can become the spark that ignites your own. To truly embrace emulation, you'll need to drop the comparison game. Success isn't one size fits all, and what works for them might need tweaking to fit your path. Focus on the principles behind their achievements, like discipline or persistence, and adapt them to your unique circumstances. By doing so, you're not copying. You're creating your own personalized recipe for abundance. Here's the beauty of it all. As you grow, you'll start inspiring others in the same way. That's the cycle of emulation. It's contagious. One day, someone might look at your life with that same spark of envy turned admiration. And when that happens, you'll know you've not only transformed yourself, but also become a teacher of prosperity and spirituality for others. It's easy to expect the world to play by our rules. But here's the thing. True growth begins when you hold yourself to high standards while showing others compassion. Think about it. How often do we judge others for their mistakes but make excuses for our own? By flipping this dynamic, you'll cultivate discipline within yourself and foster better relationships with those around you. Imagine this scenario. You're working on a project and a teammate misses a deadline. Frustrating, right? But instead of criticizing them, what if you used it as a reminder to strengthen your time management? This approach doesn't excuse their behavior. It simply redirects your focus to what you can control, your own actions. The world isn't perfect, but you can strive for excellence in how you respond to it. Being strict with yourself isn't about self-punishment, it's about accountability. Let's say you're pursuing financial prosperity. Instead of blaming external circumstances for setbacks, ask yourself, what could I do differently? Whether it's creating a budget, learning new skills, or simply spending less time procrastinating, the goal is progress, not perfection. Every small step you take adds to your foundation of wealth and abundance. On the flip side, tolerance for others is an act of kindness, not just to them, but to yourself. Holding on to anger or resentment only weighs you down. Suppose a friend cancels plans last minute. Instead of stewing over it, practice empathy. Maybe they're overwhelmed or dealing with something they haven't shared. By giving them grace, you free yourself from unnecessary negativity. History is full of examples of leaders who embodied this principle. Think of Mahatma Gandhi, who demanded discipline from himself but approached others with understanding. This dual mindset is the secret to balanced relationships. It's not about lowering your standards, it's about recognizing that everyone is on their own journey, facing battles you may never see. If you want a practical way to implement this, start each day with a personal challenge. Commit to something that pushes your limits, whether it's exercising for 30 minutes, meditating, or dedicating an hour to a new skill. At the same time, set an intention to approach others with patience and understanding. You'll be amazed at how this balance creates harmony in your daily interactions. And here's the unexpected part. This principle creates a ripple effect. When people see you striving for excellence while treating them with kindness, they're inspired to do the same. It's like planting seeds of abundance, not just in your life, but in the lives of those around you. And the more you nurture this habit, the closer you'll get to embodying the prosperity and spirituality you seek. Let's start with a simple truth. No one can hurt you emotionally unless you let them. At first, this might sound idealistic, but think about it. Pain often comes not from the words or actions themselves, but from the meaning we attach to them. It's not the criticism or rejection that stings. It's the story we tell ourselves about what it means. Reclaiming your emotional power starts with recognizing that you're in control of how you respond. Picture this. A colleague makes a snide comment about your work. You have two choices: take it personally and let it ruin your day, or see it as their projection, not your truth. The second option isn't just empowering, it's liberating. When you realize that people's words are more about them than you, their power over you dissolves. It's like installing an emotional firewall. Nothing harmful gets through unless you grant access. Building this kind of resilience takes practice. Start small. The next time someone says something upsetting, pause before reacting. Ask yourself, what's really happening here? Does this reflect me, or does it reflect them? This moment of reflection is like a buffer, giving you the space to choose peace over conflict. Over time, this practice strengthens your emotional muscles, making it easier to navigate life's challenges. A great way to reinforce this mindset is by focusing on self-worth. When you're grounded in your own value, external negativity loses its grip. For example, if you're pursuing wealth and someone mocks your ambition, it's easier to brush it off if you're confident in your vision. Try affirmations like, "I am worthy of abundance and prosperity," and notice how they shift your inner dialogue. Let's not forget the power of mindfulness in this process. Meditation, for instance, can help you become more aware of your reactions. When you meditate regularly, you develop the ability to observe your emotions without becoming consumed by them. Imagine being able to acknowledge anger or hurt without letting it control you. It's like mastering an art form, one breath at a time. History offers plenty of examples of people who've embodied this principle. Take Nelson Mandela, who emerged from 27 years of imprisonment without bitterness. His resilience wasn't about denying pain. It was about refusing to let others dictate his inner peace. While your challenges may not be as extreme, his story serves as a reminder that emotional strength is always a choice. And here's the beautiful part. When you stop letting others hurt you, you free up emotional energy for more important things, like building a life of abundance and fulfillment. It's not about ignoring problems, it's about choosing how you engage with them. When you master this, it's like unlocking a treasure chest of inner peace, no matter what's happening around you. Acceptance is a game changer. It doesn't mean you're settling or giving up. It means you're making peace with the present moment. Life throws curveballs, unexpected delays, missed opportunities, even heartbreak. Resisting these realities only drains your energy, leaving you stuck. But when you accept what is, you free yourself to focus on what can be. Think of it as clearing the mental clutter so you can see the path ahead. Imagine you're stuck in traffic, running late for an important meeting. Frustration bubbles up, and you feel your patience wearing thin. What's the alternative? Acceptance. Realize the situation is out of your control and use the time to listen to a podcast on abundance or call someone you've been meaning to connect with. Acceptance doesn't change the situation, it changes how you experience it. The power of acceptance becomes even clearer in relationships. We often wish people were different, more attentive, more understanding, more supportive. But when you practice acceptance, you see them as they are, not as you wish them to be. This shift reduces conflict and fosters compassion. It's not about ignoring issues. It's about approaching them from a place of peace rather than frustration. Acceptance is also a cornerstone of prosperity. Suppose you're facing financial struggles. It's tempting to resist reality, to dwell on what's lacking. But what if you accepted your situation as a starting point? Instead of focusing on what you don't have, you could focus on what you can do next, like learning a new skill, creating a budget, or seeking advice from a mentor. Acceptance turns setbacks into stepping stones. One way to cultivate acceptance is through gratitude. Start by listing 3 things you're grateful for each day, even if they're small. Gratitude doesn't erase challenges, but it shifts your focus to abundance rather than scarcity. Over time, this practice rewires your mind to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles. It's like planting seeds of positivity in the soil of acceptance. Nature is a perfect teacher of acceptance. Trees don't resist the changing seasons, they adapt. The same goes for rivers. They don't fight obstacles, they flow around them. By observing and aligning with these natural rhythms, you can embrace life's changes with grace. The more you accept, the more you align with the flow of abundance and spirituality that surrounds you. Acceptance doesn't mean passivity, it means choosing your battles wisely. When you stop fighting the inevitable, you have more energy to invest in meaningful change. It's like a reset button for your mind and heart, opening doors to possibilities you couldn't see before. And as you practice acceptance, you'll find yourself not just surviving, but thriving, even in the face of uncertainty. Living according to nature isn't just about spending time outdoors, it's about aligning your life with natural rhythms. Think of the sun rising and setting, or the ebb and flow of the tides. These cycles are constant reminders that life is meant to have balance, activity and rest, growth and stillness. When you tune into these rhythms, you unlock a sense of harmony that enhances every aspect of your life, from health to prosperity. Start with something simple: your sleep. Nature dictates that we're wired to rest when it's dark and rise with the sun. Yet, many of us push against this, staying up late and waking up groggy. By honoring your body's natural rhythm, you'll notice an increase in energy, focus, and even creativity. And with that newfound clarity, you'll find it easier to work toward your goals, whether they involve wealth, spirituality, or personal growth. Eating seasonally is another way to align with nature. Foods that are in season are often fresher, more nutritious, and better for your body. For example, enjoy hearty root vegetables in the winter for warmth and lighter fruits in the summer for hydration. This simple change not only benefits your health, but also connects you to the abundance that nature offers year-round. Your mindset matters too. Nature teaches us patience. Think of how a tree takes years to grow tall, or how rivers carve canyons over centuries. In your journey toward prosperity, Remember that success is rarely instant. Like nature, progress takes time, but it's always moving forward. Every small step you take is like planting a seed. With care and consistency, it will grow into something extraordinary. Consider incorporating nature into your spiritual practices. Whether it's meditating under a tree, walking barefoot on the grass, or simply sitting quietly in a park, these activities ground you. They remind you of your connection to something greater than yourself, a connection that fuels both inner peace and outward abundance. One powerful lesson from nature is adaptability. A river doesn't complain when it meets a rock, it flows around it. Similarly, living according to nature means being flexible when challenges arise. Instead of resisting change, embrace it as part of your journey. This mindset not only reduces stress, but also opens the door to unexpected opportunities. Finally, let nature inspire your actions. Observe how ecosystems thrive on cooperation. Trees, for instance, share nutrients through their roots to support the forest as a whole. Apply this principle to your life by fostering community and collaboration. When you support others, you're not just building relationships, you're creating a network of abundance that benefits everyone involved. Ethical living is more than a moral obligation. It's a pathway to peace and abundance. When your actions align with values like honesty, kindness, and integrity, you create a life free of guilt and full of harmony. Think about it. How often does dishonesty or selfishness lead to stress? By living ethically, you clear the emotional clutter that blocks your path to prosperity and spirituality. One way to practice ethical living is by being honest with yourself. Are your goals aligned with your core values, or are they driven by external pressures? For instance, chasing wealth is perfectly fine, but if it comes at the cost of integrity, it's not true prosperity. Take time to reflect on what abundance means to you and ensure your actions align with that vision. Kindness is another cornerstone of ethical living. Small acts of compassion, like helping a neighbor or listening to a friend, have a ripple effect. They don't just brighten someone else's day, they also create a sense of connection and positivity in your own life. And here's the best part. When you give freely, the universe often finds ways to give back, multiplying your own abundance. Ethical living also extends to how you handle money. Wealth gained dishonestly never brings true peace. On the other hand, when you earn your prosperity through fair means, it carries a sense of pride and fulfillment. Consider donating a portion of your earnings to causes you care about. It's a powerful way to align your financial goals with your spiritual values. Let's talk about forgiveness. Holding grudges weighs you down, while letting go frees up energy for growth and joy. Ethical living includes the courage to forgive, not just others, but yourself. Mistakes are part of the journey. What matters is how you learn and grow from them. This mindset creates space for new opportunities and deeper connections. Living ethically doesn't mean you'll never face challenges. It means you'll face them with a clear conscience and inner strength. For example, if a business deal falls through because you refuse to compromise your values, you might feel disappointed temporarily. But in the long run, staying true to yourself ensures you attract partners and opportunities that align with your vision of abundance. Finally, remember that ethical living isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Each day is an opportunity to make choices that reflect your highest self. And as you do, you'll notice a profound shift, not just in how others perceive you, but in how you perceive yourself. This alignment between action and values is the foundation of a truly prosperous and spiritual life. Gratitude is like a magic key. It opens doors to abundance. When you take the time to appreciate the little things in life, you shift your focus from what's lacking to what's already abundant. Whether it's the warmth of the sun, a kind word from a friend, or simply a moment of peace, gratitude trains your mind to recognize the wealth that surrounds you. The beauty of gratitude is that it's available to everyone at any moment. It's easy to take things for granted, but when you consciously practice thankfulness, everything changes. Start by writing down 3 things you're grateful for each day. Over time, this simple habit rewires your brain to see opportunities, prosperity, and positivity where you once saw challenges. Gratitude also deepens relationships. When you express appreciation to others, whether through words or actions, you not only lift their spirits, but you also invite more positive energy into your own life. It's like planting seeds of kindness that blossom into stronger, more supportive connections. This sense of community is key to both personal fulfillment and collective abundance. Think about gratitude in relation to wealth. Many people focus only on the pursuit of money, but true prosperity isn't just about numbers, it's about feeling rich in every sense. By practicing gratitude, you acknowledge that wealth is not just financial, it's emotional, spiritual, and relational. This shift in perspective allows you to attract more of the things you truly value, rather than getting caught up in the chase for more. A powerful way to deepen your gratitude practice is to reflect on challenges with gratitude. This might sound counterintuitive, but hear me out. When you view difficulties as opportunities for growth, you transform adversity into strength. For example, a financial setback may push you to find creative ways to save or invest, skills that will serve you in the long run. Gratitude also enhances your health and well-being. Studies show that people who practice gratitude experience lower stress levels, improved immune function, and better sleep. By cultivating a grateful heart, you're not only boosting your emotional resilience, but also setting yourself up for greater prosperity and vitality. And here's the real secret. Gratitude is contagious. When you radiate appreciation, others can't help but feel it too. This positive energy creates a ripple effect, drawing more abundance, love, and opportunities into your life. So, take a moment today to appreciate the richness of your life and watch how the universe responds. One of the most freeing things you can do is trust the process. Life has its own rhythm, and when you release the need to control every outcome, you create space for growth and transformation. It's like planting a seed. You can't rush it to grow, but you can nurture it with patience. Trusting the process means believing that everything is unfolding as it should, even when it doesn't look like it. Letting go of control doesn't mean you're passive or apathetic. It means you're aligning with the flow of life. Think about a river. It doesn't struggle against the rocks in its path. Instead, it flows around them, finding its way. When you stop forcing outcomes and instead flow with the natural course of events, you'll be amazed at the opportunities that present themselves. The key to trusting the process is to stay focused on the present moment. Often we become anxious about the future, worrying about whether we'll achieve our goals or whether we're on the right path. But when you focus on what you can control now, your actions, your attitude, and your choices, things start to fall into place. It's about putting in the effort, then letting go of the attachment to the result. Consider a time when you worked hard for something and the outcome didn't go as expected. Initially, it might have felt like a setback, but looking back, you can see how it led to something better. Trusting the process is about recognizing that not every result is immediately visible, but everything is part of your journey toward abundance and growth. Another way to let go of control is through mindfulness and meditation. These practices help you stay grounded in the present, release unnecessary tension, and develop a deeper sense of trust. When you learn to sit with uncertainty and accept that life is fluid, you open yourself to new possibilities and creative solutions that wouldn't have come from trying to control everything. Trusting the process also applies to your financial journey. Instead of obsessing over every dollar, trust that your efforts will pay off in time. Focus on your growth, on learning how to manage your resources wisely, and let the universe take care of the rest. Prosperity doesn't always come in the form you expect, but when you trust, it often arrives in the most unexpected and delightful ways. Letting go of control is a practice that gets easier the more you trust yourself and the universe. The more you surrender to the flow of life, the more you realize that things always work out. And as you do, you'll notice a deep sense of peace that comes with knowing you're supported by something much greater than any plan you could have devised. Now that you've learned these 10 Buddhist principles, it's time to put them into action. Imagine living a life where you're not only attracting wealth, but also experiencing inner peace, balance, and abundance in every area. These principles are more than just ideas. They're practices that can transform your mindset, your relationships, and yes, even your bank account. But the real question is, are you ready to embrace these changes and apply them in your own life? Think about the power of gratitude, the peace that comes with letting go of control, and the abundance that flows when you live ethically and in alignment with nature. The journey to prosperity isn't just about getting more, it's about becoming more. So, which of these principles are you going to focus on first? How will you make them a part of your daily life? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Share them in the comments below. What has resonated with you the most? And if you're ready to continue on this path of spiritual and material growth, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can stay up to date with more powerful insights. You deserve abundance in every form, and I'm here to help you unlock it one step at a time.